This shit ain't for kids, bruh. What up, everyone? It's your boy Xmanny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends Black Widow Wave Crimson Dynamo Build-A-Figure Series Crossbones action figure review. Before I get into everything, if you could please drop a like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. With that said, let's take a look at his accessories first, and then we'll take a closer look at Crossbones. So Crossbones comes with 4 accessories total, and the first 2 we're looking at here are these pistols that are the same as the Young pistol, which we've seen on Spymaster. I already reviewed that. He got it in red. This time we get it in silver, and this is just not Crossbones style, man. Like, what is this? I don't understand the choice of giving him these guns. It's, again, not his style. It's not even lethal. Like, this, like a laser tag gun will freaking do more damage than this. My fellow peeps that grew up with me in the 90s know what I'm talking about. The next 2 accessories are these 2 mini shotguns, and I can get with this. I think this suits more his style. Just taking a look at the one closely, I really like the way this came out, and I think this is a new sculpted weapon, so I don't think we've seen this one before, and it is a double barrel, so I like that. I think it's a mini shotgun. For you gunheads out there, you know, let me know what best describes this gun, but you know, that's what I'm going by, and you know, you get some nice texture right there, and I dig the sculpt on this. I really do. I think this came out nice, and this is the main weapon of choice that I'll have my Crossbones displayed with, and yeah, you can see it just fits in his hand nicely, and he does have that up and down hinge, both hands. These guns just look way more lethal for him, and overall just a better fit for this character. Now to take a closer look at Crossbones here, disappointed in the way the paint came out on mine. I will say that as you can see, I got a scuff right there on the upper right eyebrow, and as you can see, it's a little dirty here. And then the mouth, the line across meets all the way here at the end, but then on this side it doesn't. I'm a little bummed out about that, but not as bad as this right here on the forehead. As you can see, the paint on the face is double coated, or at least, you know, because the white, you see where the line meets where it is coated, it ends right there. This isn't coated, so the stripe on his bandana or mask, whatever, should have been, you know, multi-coated to match this, so it looks off, and I do not like that whatsoever. So yeah, some dirty paint on the middle of the face, and then the nose actually came out fine. And anything else here? Yeah, a little bit on the bottom. Looking at the bandana here, this is, again, this whole head is newly sculpted, so this is nice right here. It's pliable. I like that. And then looking at the rest of the body here, he's sporting the Hyperion body mold, and I mean, it's the Hyperion body mold. You know how that is, but you know, we get some new parts added, which makes this figure look much cooler, or at least this body mold look much cooler. So you get the chest paint right here, the Crossbones logo, and I think the paint is fine on mine. It's right there. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's a little bit messy right there. Not too bad, but yeah. Other than that, it came out pretty good. It's a solid black, and coming to the back right here, another paint mishap right there. So yeah, you can see the skin paint. I am not happy about that whatsoever. Looking at the arms right here, you got bulky arms, and then here is a new piece added on. So these are wristbands and newly sculpted. Nice light brown color with some studs, I guess, around them. And then his hands have the up and down hinge that I showed you earlier. It sucks he doesn't come with alternate hands. I would have loved for this Crossbones to come with a close-fisted hands, just to throw down with Captain America, you know, some like punches, or you know, that should be the norm, right? Do you agree with me? Like, alternate hands should just be the norm. Now looking at the rest of the body here, you get a new piece added on. So you get this belt connected to the holsters, and you got thigh straps right there. So I like the texturing, and I like the paint. So it's a light brown color, and you can see the buckles there, painted in gold. In the middle right there, painted in gold. And you get some pouches. And I wonder what's in them. Whatever's inside them, I'm pretty sure they're freaking more lethal than this shit right here. But speaking of this shit right here, you can just slide this gun in like so, as you see. The holsters right there. And on the plus side, when you put these guns inside the holsters, you visibly can't see how terrible they look. So that's a good thing. And it just looks like he has like regular guns, you know, from afar. And then you get nice texturing on the holster, so really cool. Looking at the rest of the legs, you get them thick boy legs, you know, get the Crossbones butt. That shit looking mad tight. But down here below the knees, you get some wrinkly sculpture, so that's really cool. And then you get these really glossy jet black type of boots, and I believe these are new as well. I've never seen them before, so they look pretty cool. And you get some like stitching like sculpt going around on the boot right there, and then the threads at the bottom of the feet. So that was Crossbones in a nutshell, and now let's bring out the two Crossbones figures that came out before him, and we'll do some comparisons. Alright, now in this segment, I'm just gonna have some fun with comparisons and accessories, swapping parts, and, you know, scaling with other figures, etc, etc. So taking a close look at these Crossbones next to each other, you can see that this is the smallest one, but it's still all good, I feel, like height-wise, you know. And the boots probably make a big difference. He could have been a lot smaller. Now, many of you are probably wondering how this will look with one of these tactical vests on. We'll get to that, but first I just want to talk about like the differences between these two. So starting off with the first Crossbones that was in the Ares wave. This was such a hot figure at the time, and I think it still holds up as a good figure anyway. But you could tell the arms are a lot more jacked on this one. The tactical vest, you know, he had a nice blue wash. This one doesn't, because this is more of the, you know, OG Crossbones, which I like. I'm happy that we got a OG Crossbones. And the legs, proportion-wise though, this definitely, you know, is much better in proportion. You know, I don't have a problem with the legs at all. If it didn't have these hip joints, I'm sure it would have looked so much better. When you look at the arms, and again, this is much bigger, but this one had a wrist cut, and this one has a wrist swivel and a wrist hinge, so that is helpful. This one didn't have a hinge. This top part right here is off color with his skin tone. On the Thunderbolts Crossbones, they painted it so it looks like wrist taping around his, you know, wrist and forearm section. So, you know, we get a double jointed elbow Crossbones this time around as opposed to a single one, so he will have more range. So I mean, look at that. That's just going to be helpful when it comes to posing with, you know, weaponry and such. And the face is the most important part to me, so as I showed you earlier, I have a lot of paint slop with this one. You know, it's not the best. This one I had no problems with. This one came out pretty clean for the most part, and I was happy that they actually, you know, the paint, the coating was consistent here, whereas the top part right here, you know, they only coated the face and not the stripe on top. So yeah, that was a bummer. This one didn't have the bandana. And when you look at the Thunderbolts, I didn't have luck with that either, as being a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, you know, when you pay that money, you really don't want anything messed up. And yeah, this one had just bad paint slop. This one has silver eyes as opposed to the white eyes on this one. And this had more of a cream-like color than like a pure white. Even the Ares Wave one had like a pure white color. So anyways, getting back to the Ares Wave Crossbones, you can see the accessories he came with were a much better selection than the current Crossbones that we have. I mean, when you look at this, you got the Hydra logo embedded on the rifle. How dope is that? And the pistol as well. I mean, these were more realistic weapons when we got this Crossbones at that time, and you can even see it's very tiny, but the Hydra logo is embedded on the grip right there. So that was so dope. So trying the new rifle on the new Crossbones figure, it fits just, wow, he even has the Hydra logo embedded on there too. Sorry, that stopped me at my tracks, but yeah, fits just fine. Yeah, and this rifle looks so much better with this Crossbones, so I don't understand why they couldn't reuse this. It looks so good. And then his pistol right here will fit nicely as well. That could have been so much better. Again, I don't understand why they couldn't reuse this. Let me try putting this in here. You get something like poking through there, so I could see the stress of the plastic appearing. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. So next up, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Thunderbolts Crossbones came with the coolest accessory like ever in Marvel Legends, and honestly, this wasn't even an original Marvel Legends accessory. This Gatling gun you see right here was actually reused from the G.I. Joe Sigma 6-inch line. I believe it came with heavy duty. And yeah, it was just a great reuse. The way they did this whole deco, and it's just absolutely amazing. You got the ammo feed right here, and it's really long too, so that travels all the way to where it says danger ammo feed. You can see right there, and you can flip that up, and then you can remove it if you wanted to. But I leave it on because it just looks so damn freaking cool. Man, but look at the wash on this thing. This was so cool. You got the black in the front right there. Nice black wash. And this is becoming like a triple review, so sorry guys. I'm reviewing like all these 3 crossbones all together. Then you got this kind of like a shield-like material. And one of the coolest features was this right here, this little knob. You twist it, underneath you get this little lever, and you're just gonna like push it or pull it, and that is freaking awesome, man. I love this, and I've yet to see this reused in Marvel Legends, and just wondering when are they gonna bring this back, because this was one hell of an accessory. Got the handle there, and let's actually see with this Crossbones how he holds it. Better to just start at the top first. There we go, and then work your way down right here, because you want to make sure he has a grip on this handle. And then do this right here. Yeah, and there you go. If you're wondering if he can hold the Gatling gun, yes, he can. He definitely can. And wow, it's just to get him in a stance to actually hold it and balance it, you know, it's gonna definitely take some work. But yeah, with some patience, you'll finally get it. You just have to work on your crossbone squats right there. But my god, that looks so freaking amazing. And if you want to swap parts with the vest, you can. And now you have yourself a Thunderbolts Crossbones. And damn, I wish I could put this onto this. That would have really made it look accurate. But on the front, doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it kind of does actually, because this is just raised too high up here, and on the back you can see a big gap. So yeah, for a second it looked good, but then when you start to realize how big it looks, it's not a good look whatsoever. But maybe if you can shave this down somehow, like cutting off the belt from the this harness right here, I think it could be doable actually. So you might have it, you know, sit down a little more flush. So if I bring this down, you might still end up with a gap, but hey, if you can find a work around it, I'd say go for it. This is how he looks with the Ares Wave Crossbones, you know, it's, again, same result, but just in all black. It doesn't have the Bones logo on. This one, that I liked, it looks so much better. Anyway, if you want him sporting a tactical vest, you can just take the vest from the Nuke figure and put it on him, and it fits perfectly since they share the same body mold. That looks so good. I really, really dig how this looks. And if you just paint it in black, man, it would look even better. Wow. So let me know what you guys think about this look. Now that I have the new one here, let's bring out some other bigger body molds that he probably could have fit the bill, and you're probably thinking Omega Red. So was I when I first saw this figure revealed. I was like, oh man, why isn't he on the Omega Red body? And I'm like, oh, now I see them next to each other, seeing this, and now seeing him next to that. You know, that would have been a good buck, don't get me wrong, because I love the butterfly joints, and it would make it so much easier for him to, you know, pose. So I wish he kind of was on this mold, but at the same time, I think this kind of works. Now, hear me out. When I take this and put him next to the scroll, which was the Build-A-Figure in the Fantastic Four Wave, that also uses the Hyperion body mold. It's just he has a new torso. He's bigger than a Build-A-Figure, you know? And it's probably because of those boots. And it's crazy how one new part can make a difference. I'm thinking, oh man, Hyperion mold, I'm probably not going to like this figure as much. I'm actually liking it more and more. It's not that bad. And I was also thinking Hercules, that could have been a good size to work with too. Let me just move this guy here. And that way you can see he could have gone either way. So any of these choices would have been real good for him actually. Because he could have been on this body mold. And he's got those new, you know, big arms that I like on the new figures that they're putting. Like the Thor. And all he probably needed was some new legs. Hell, this probably could have worked maybe. Just, you know, add some new parts on here. But yeah, even he looks like he's the same size as Hercules. So is the Hyperion body that bad for this figure? I don't think so. I don't. I want to say it works. I mean, I don't think the scale is bad at all. Those new boots, they definitely made a difference. Because if I put them next to Cap, so that's Cap next to our new Crossbones. And then Cap next to the Thunderbolt's Crossbones. So either way, just could have worked, even with Omega Red, you know, or Hercules. Then putting Super Skrull there and Cap right there. I mean, it's just, I don't think he's that bad scale wise. So hell, I think we still get a good offering with this Crossbones here. But again, let me know what you guys think. Now to cover Articulation with Crossbones, his head moves that far up, it moves down that low, and he does move left right. He does have some sort of pivot. It kind of rocks around. His arms move that far up, so real good, down, and it's all around. And then he's got the shoulder swivel, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and he's got the wrist swivel and the wrist hinge that moves up and down. Ab crunch moves that far forward, that far back. He's got a waist swivel. Legs move that far apart. It moves that far up and that far back. So not too bad for a big guy. It rocks around. He's got a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and no heel to the Crossbones butt. He has a swivel at the boot cut. His ankles move up that far and down that low, good amount. And he does have all-around ankle pivot. Alright, and now for some comparisons. Here he is next to Scourge. Here he is next to Captain America. Here he is next to Black Widow. Here he is next to the Camo Punisher. Here he is next to his MCU movie counterpart. Here he is next to a Hydra Soldier and a Hydra Enforcer. Here he is next to a SHIELD Agent and a Mandroid. I know this is the OG Crossbones, but here he is next to some of his fellow teammates when he was in the Thunderbolts, Ghost, Luke Cage, Moonstone, and Satana. And finally, here he is next to his fellow wave mates, which I recently reviewed. Alright, and now to wrap things up, my final rating is at 8.5 out of 10. I know the Hyperion mold is obsolete, but that doesn't take away from this being a good figure. Crazy how much of a difference some new parts or just one part can make a difference to making it likable. I know the paint isn't great on mine, and I hope it's not like that across all Crossbones, which is why I couldn't give it a higher rating because I can only speak to what I have and seen on hand. The accessories are only lacking on the Yanrog reuse guns. The other two mini shotguns are cool though, but equipping him with weapons from the last Crossbones figure makes it so much better. Interchangeable hands like Close Fist could have definitely raised his fun factor and replay value so much higher. I'm a fan of the OG Crossbones look, so I think OG Crossbones fans will love it too. I'm just happy that they made him attainable for casual collectors, since the first one was a Walmart exclusive wave that used to go for like 300 plus on eBay, and the San Diego Comic-Con version was, well, you know how big of a shit show it is to get a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and especially an entire box set. So for the $19.99 price point, yes, he's considered a must-buy. Is this better than the old one? Honestly, I'm still not sure. There are things I love about each of them. Each Crossbones brings something different to the table, whether it's sculpt, paint, articulation, or accessories. I'll let you decide that for yourself. It's growing on me a lot more, and I had lots of fun taking pics of him. He's a really dope figure, and I hope you enjoy it whenever you get one. So now I kick it back to you guys. What do you guys think of this new Crossbones? What was your favorite part of the video? That was my review. Please drop a like rating on the video, comment, we'll chat about it. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, link is in the description below. Please check out my website at xmanny87.com to view my photo gallery. It's been recently updated with new photos, so big thanks to my wife for helping me out with updating that, so please check it out. Get your Marvel Legends Black Widow Wave figures at BigBadToyStore.com, link is in the description below. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.